Hi, I'm Sophie from BBC Good Food and I'm going to show you how to make absolutely delicious custard slices. So first I've got a sheet of puff pastry here and I'm just going to sprinkle over some almonds. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, but I think it adds a nice texture and it looks beautiful. That's great, and I'm just going to dust over some icing sugar. This is going to help the pastry go all nice and caramelised, a lovely golden brown. Now I don't want my puff pastry layers to rise too much, so I'm going to put another sheet of parchment on top of the pastry. And then another baking tray on top of that. Then to really compress the layers, I've got 2 loaf tins which I've lined with baking beans. If you don't have baking beans, don't worry, just use some old rice or you could use some cans if you wish. Now that's ready to go. I'm going to put it in the oven for 30 minutes on a really high heat so it goes wonderfully caramelised. Now repeat this process so you get your second layer. Now my pastry is lovely and cooked, lovely golden brown. I'm just going to cut it to the size of my tin. So I'm using the base as a guide and a sharp knife to get straight edges. So I'm just putting this almond side down in my tin. So I've got all my custard ingredients in my saucepan. I'm just going to turn that on. And I've got my gelatin leaf, which I'm just going to soak in some cold water. So I'm just going to whisk all my custard ingredients together until they're thickened. Start cooking this over a low heat so the sugar can dissolve. If your custard gets a little bit lumpy, don't worry, just whisk it out. It'll be absolutely fine. I just added my gelatine and my custard is lovely and thick, so I'm going to remove the vanilla pod. I'm just going to pour it over my pastry base. Smooth out your custard so it evenly covers the pastry. So when I'm making this, I like to individually portion the top of the pastry so it's easier to cut when it's set. I like to use a ruler for a little bit more accuracy. So I'm just going to cut the pastry in half. Then I'm going to cut it into 10 slices. Push your knife straight through the pastry so it doesn't crack. Now I'm just going to place these on top of my custard. They look great, so I'm just going to leave them in the fridge to set for 4 to 5 hours, or better still, overnight. These have set up really nicely in the fridge, so I'm just going to cut them into individual slices. These look delicious and absolutely perfect to take to a party. And that's how you make custard slices from BBC Good Food.